Today's main event is absolute chaos inside the WNBA. Buckle up, because this isn't just a story about basketball. It's a story about power, egos, and the future of the league. Here's the deal. WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert is under fire like never before. We're not just talking about criticism from a few fans on social media. This is coming straight from the players themselves. Napheesa Collier just dropped a pipe bomb on Engelbert, exposing comments that are not only shocking, but downright insulting to the athletes grinding every night. Collier claims Engelbert dismissed player concerns
around Napheesa Collier's bomb dropping, the pipe bomb she put off, the nuking of WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. Now, just like I said earlier, it's not lost on me that Collier is a co-owner of Unruh.
The season is absolutely not happening if Cathy is the commissioner. But Sophie Cunningham has clapped back at Cathy Engelbert, and this is a great post here from Sophie. So Sophie Cunningham Instagram. So get ready to take your fine, Sophie.
With a jaw-dropping line, "Only losers complain about the refs." Think about that for a second. That wasn't just aimed at Collier. It was a direct slap in the face to the players, the coaches, and yes, even the fans who have been outraged over how Caitlin Clark and others are treated on the court. But it didn't stop there. Collier revealed Engelbert believes Caitlin Clark should be grateful to the WNBA for her sponsorships, as if Clark's massive NIL deals and global brand didn't exist before she even stepped foot into the league. That's delusion on a level we haven't seen since the darkest days of sports mismanagement.
And I want to be clear, this conversation is not about winning or losing. It's about something much bigger. The real threat to our league isn't money, it isn't ratings, or even missed calls, or even physical play. It's the lack of accountability from the league office.
Finally, WNBA players have said something right. Finally, WNBA players are willing to publicly acknowledge what Uncle KC has been saying about this dump of a league for years.
Now, Sophie Cunningham has stepped in with a bold response, calling Engelbert the most delusional leader this league has ever seen. Players are openly rebelling, fans are uniting across team lines, and the pressure cooker is about to explode. This isn't just a commissioner under fire. This could be the beginning of the end for Engelbert's tenure, and maybe even the start of a lockout. Stay tuned, because this gets darker, messier, and way more personal. To really understand this firestorm, we've got to rewind and look at the bigger picture of Cathy Engelbert's reign as WNBA Commissioner.
Cathy Engelbert, you have a problem on your hands. Cathy, you have a major problem on your hands. I'm gonna keep it all the way real. This is a big deal. We now have Napheesa Collier bombing on Cathy Engelbert, calling for her job. We've had Napheesa now, Cheryl Reeves, Becky Hammond, Gino Auriemma. Yo, everybody is calling for Cathy Engelbert to be fired.
When she stepped into the job back in 2019, the league was in survival mode. Attendance was flat, TV ratings were stagnant, and sponsorship money wasn't flowing the way the league needed. To her credit, Engelbert helped stabilize things. She brought in investors, she struck TV deals, and she tried to make the WNBA look more professional on paper.
But regardless of how we get there, Collier, Gino Auriemma has now come out speaking out against it. The physicality, quote-unquote physicality on the league. He just said it's ruining the basketball you're trying to watch. Lord knows I am no Gino fan, but he's not wrong. Cheryl Reeve, everything that's happened involving that. And Becky Hammond. The fact is, this league was not listening to anybody related, but whether it was a front office of the Indiana Fever, a coach of the Indiana Fever.
Fans were left furious, coaches begged for consistency, and the league acted like it was all just good drama. The real kicker? Engelbert allegedly implied that Caitlin Clark owes the WNBA her fame. That's not just tone-deaf, it's historically ignorant. Clark built a bigger audience at Iowa than most WNBA franchises have today. NIL money, ESPN record-breaking viewership, a brand that was already global. And yet the commissioner wanted to take credit. This is where the fracture began, because players aren't buying it.
They are expressing their true frustrations with this league and everything that is going on. Let's take a listen as Napheesa Collier eviscerates Cathy Engelbert. Cathy Engelbert, you said Caitlin Clark should be grateful of the WNBA. What? What? The WNBA should be grateful of Caitlin Clark. Are you insane? Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification. Let's get right into it. This is wild. This is wild. WNBA.
And the league's credibility is on the line. Let's break this down piece by piece because the dominoes are falling fast. First, Napheesa Collier. She didn't just criticize Engelbert, she exposed her. When a star player claims the commissioner said, "Only losers complain about refs," and Caitlin Clark should be grateful to the WNBA for her sponsorships. That's not just a disagreement. That's a direct assault on player respect. Collier went further, saying the league doesn't value its athletes, even revealing she tore ligaments in her ankle while being told to protect the shield. Imagine that. Risk your career for a league that shrugs off your concerns. Second, the response. Cathy Engelbert issued the most generic political statement you could imagine, talking about her utmost respect for players and collaboration for the future. But notice what she didn't do. She never actually denied Collier's accusations. She danced around them. That silence spoke louder than any denial could. Third, the backlash. Sophie Cunningham jumps in, calling Engelbert the most delusional leader the league has ever seen. Lexie Hull piles on, backing Collier's every word. And fans? They've gone nuclear. Twitter threads, viral TikToks, GoFundMe jokes to cover players' fines. It's all out there. The unity here is staggering. This isn't just Fever fans or Clark stans. Aces fans, Mercury fans, neutral WNBA supporters, they're all pointing the finger at Engelbert. Finally, the danger. When your top stars, your role players, and your fan base are united against you, the clock is ticking. This isn't a controversy that will just fade away in a news cycle. This is the kind of fracture that leads to labor disputes, lockouts, and leadership changes. What started as Engelbert, on the other hand, seems to resent Caitlin Clark's spotlight. Instead of building around Clark, she downplays her impact, allows dangerous physical play against her, and then allegedly takes credit for her sponsorship empire. That's not leadership, that's ego. And now the players are calling her bluff. Sophie Cunningham's Instagram response wasn't just emotional, it was calculated. When she said, "People only know Cathy because of Caitlin. She's the most delusional leader this league has ever seen." That wasn't just a shot, that was a declaration of war. And make no mistake, players don't go public with something that blunt unless they've hit their breaking point. Meanwhile, fans are watching their patience snap in real time. They tuned in for Caitlin Clark, for the fever, for the rivalries with Angel Reese, for the drama on the court, not to see their commissioner overshadow the storylines. The league has managed to take its biggest boom in decades and twist it into a PR nightmare. Here's the escalation. This isn't just about Engelbert versus Caitlin Clark anymore. It's Engelbert versus her own players. Engelbert versus her coaches. Engelbert versus the very fan base she claims to represent. And the question hanging over all of it, how long can a commissioner survive when everybody in the room is rooting for her downfall? Let's get into the details that most people don't want to talk about. Because the cracks in Engelbert's leadership didn't start with Caitlin Clark. They started years ago when she sold off 18% of the WNBA to private investors. At the time, it looked like a lifeline. But here's the kicker. That deal happened 2 years before the Caitlin Clark boom. In other words, Engelbert mortgaged part of the league at its lowest value, right before its biggest growth spurt in decades. That's not foresight, that's fumbling the bag. And now, the league is boxed in by that decision. Players are questioning the CBA, questioning salaries, questioning where the money actually goes. When the commissioner who signed those deals is now accused of dismissing players as losers, the anger cuts even deeper. Then there's the culture on the court. Physicality is one thing, but what Caitlin Clark has endured this season goes way beyond hard-nosed defense. She's been elbowed, hip-checked, blindsided, and targeted at a frequency that no rookie should have to withstand. And instead of addressing it, Engelbert's leadership allowed it to fester, almost as if the drama was good for business. That's not protecting your stars, that's sacrificing them. Meanwhile, players like Napheesa Collier and Sophie Cunningham are risking fines and suspensions to speak out. That tells you just how bad the locker room tension is. Nobody sticks their neck out this far unless they're convinced the system is broken beyond repair. And let's not forget, Caitlin Clark herself has stayed quiet through all of this. No comments, no clapbacks, no public outrage. And yet her silence might be the loudest signal of all. Because if the league can't protect her, if the league keeps diminishing her, then Clark has options. Overseas leagues, unrivaled, endorsements that don't depend on WNBA exposure. That's the nightmare scenario. Losing the one player who brought more eyes to the game than any commissioner could ever dream of. Here's the reality. Instead, under Engelbert's watch, the Clark phenomenon has become a battlefield. Fans see their superstar being roughed up, players see their concerns dismissed, and now locker rooms are turning into political minefields. It's not just bad optics, it's a warning sign, because if the WNBA mishandles this moment, it risks squandering the one thing every sports league dreams of: cultural relevance. Think about it. If fans feel the league doesn't protect its stars, why would they stick around? If players feel the commissioner doesn't respect them, why would they keep fighting for the shield? And if sponsors start believing that drama and dysfunction define the WNBA, why would they keep writing checks? This is where the stakes climb. A lockout isn't just a possibility, it's looking more and more like a certainty. Players have leverage like never before, thanks to Caitlin Clark's drawing power and the public spotlight. If Engelbert won't listen, the players will force her hand, and that could mean a showdown unlike anything the league has seen in its 27-year history. The broader impact is simple. The WNBA is standing at a crossroads. Either it becomes a league that uplifts its players and leans into its new era, or it becomes another cautionary tale of leadership arrogance crushing potential. So here we are. The WNBA stands on the edge of its biggest transformation, or its biggest collapse. And at the center of it all is Cathy Engelbert, a commissioner who should have been celebrating the most electrifying rookie the league has ever seen. Instead, she's facing open revolt from players, ridicule from fans, and a legitimacy crisis that grows by the day. Let's be real. Commissioners are supposed to be invisible until the job demands otherwise. Nobody tuned into the NBA for David Stern. Nobody bought a ticket because Adam Silver was in the building. Fans came for the players, for the stars, for the rivalries that made the game bigger than life. And yet, here we are, talking about Engelbert more than the athletes who actually make the WNBA worth watching. That's failure. The message from Collier, Cunningham, Hull, and the fans is crystal clear. This league is not about Cathy Engelbert, it's about Caitlin Clark, it's about Asia Wilson, it's about Brianna Stewart, Angel Reese, Diana Taurasi, the players who risk their bodies every night. The WNBA's future depends on empowering them, not undermining them. If Engelbert can't or won't step aside, the players may have no choice but to force her hand. And a lockout? Don't be shocked. Because when stars are calling you delusional in public, when your top rookie is being brutalized on the court, and when fans are uniting across team lines just to say, enough is enough, your days are numbered. The clock is ticking. The WNBA can either embrace the Clark effect and ride this wave into a new golden era, or let pride, politics, and poor leadership drag it all into the mud. And that's the unfiltered truth. If you're fired up about this story, hit that like button, drop a comment with your take, and of course, subscribe to Black and White Sports for the no-holds-barred truth on the WNBA.